After Dylan Holloway returned from injury, we get an update and a shocking injury report coming out on Dylan Holloway from Jim Montgomery as the forward continues falling out of the lineup, and it has a huge impact not only on his season but the Blues moving forward. We're going to break down everything you need to know, including quotes from Jim Montgomery and an update on Springfield and Ott as they continue to look to turn the season around. There's so much breakdown in this, Darius, so let's just dive straight into the AHL right now, where we do see Springfield came out with a huge win with Ott on the bench. We can see the 4-3 win, and there's a lot of implications looking at this. Listen, the AHL, of course, is not important as your NHL team, but there is a lot of underlining things that you need to get going with this group. We know right now a struggling team, 8th in the division, but also 4th worst in the AHL. Darius, I just wanted your thoughts on seeing this team getting that big win, coming back, scoring an OT with a beautiful goal from Lindstein. But what is your thoughts on this team hopefully getting things turned around with the young guys' seasons kind of leaning on it?
But before we get too far into the video today, guys, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. And when you download Kalshi using the link in the description and using promo code DIGESTNHL, you get $20 when you trade your first $100. And whether you're in Texas, California, or right here in St. Louis, Missouri, Kalshi is now live in all 50 states. And Kalshi is the US's largest prediction market where you can trade yes or no on real life events, including sporting events, elections, music, or even the weather at this point.
And I mean, Darius, looking right now, we know football's huge at the moment. You can go trade on Seattle beating the Rams. Everyone wants to see this with a great payout. $20 gets you 34 back. And even if you love college football, you can go through. Everyone loves the big moments of these games. And you can trade right now on the announcer saying what a catch. And with a game like this, you know it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a big game. Like, something big is going to happen. So $10 returning 24 for what a catch. Like, I have a good feeling that that's going to happen. But Mark, and guys, it's just a better way to utilize your sports and news knowledge. So go down below, download the app using the link in the description, and use promo code DIGESTNHL for, again, $20 when you trade your first $100. And thank you once again to Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Well, that's also why, you know, Ott was sent down there to kind of continue the development and see what the organization has in that team. And not only that, to get some head coaching experience as well, so he can come back up and, you know, be that guy for the team as well and offer that. But yeah, I mean, this team was ranked, the AHL squad, Springfield, I should say, was not ranked very highly in terms of developmental programs when they did this ranking last summer. They were not ranked very high. You can see in the regular season standings this year, they are not ranked very high either. They're not a very good team. But if you look at the roster, if you look at the players that are on this team, they have a lot of really good young talent, and some of them have already kind of graduated to the NHL in Dvorsky and of course Stenberg. But you have Lindstein, like you mentioned. I forgot that they traded for Akil Thomas, who's not necessarily the youngest guy, but a guy maybe with a chip on his shoulder right now. They have a lot of really good young players down there, and they've made some good selections through the draft, but they have to continue their development. So sending Ott back down, huge win last night, hopefully getting back on the right track for the rest of the season. We'll see where the rest of the season takes them, how certain players continue to develop, but I think it's crucial now with where we know this team is going to get the AHL squad as kind of like a hub to continue to develop players and push them up to the NHL level, because it has been okay so far and a couple guys have come up and made an impact, but you really want something special down there. So we'll see how they continue the rest of the season, but big win nonetheless, and nice to see Lindstein, who, one of my favorite names in the entire sport, by the way, Theo Lindstein, getting on the board with that overtime winner.
And I think the big thing is, too, is looking at this team, we've seen Dvorsky make that jump, we've seen Stenberg make the jump, but with this team looking to sell off some veterans, there's going to be a lot of guys, and making the bridge easier to jump from the AHL to the NHL is exactly why Ott is down there right now. So it's going to be nice to see these guys continue to develop, and even looking at when the trades do happen, this is still a team that's recalling players constantly because of injuries, and that goes straight into where we seen the report come from Andy Strickland saying Dylan Holloway returned to St. Louis after having an MRI on his injured high ankle sprain. Now with this, we know he missed some time, and Jim Montgomery even came out to say, with a high ankle sprain, I've come to understand that when you come back from playing, there's a scar tissue release that feels like it's injured again. And listen, we're banking on this just being the scar tissue and not a reactivation or just another injury. Darius, what is your thoughts on Dylan Holloway looking so good last season, missing the entirety of that first round of the playoffs, and now seeming like he just cannot stay healthy in the lineup?
Yeah, can't catch a break. And on the injury specifically, we've seen it a lot in hockey, it is one of the most difficult injuries to come back from, a high ankle sprain, at least in the same season. When you're able to work through it in an off season and get skates in, you come back stronger for the season. But to come back from a high ankle sprain in season is very difficult for the reason Jim Montgomery's talking about. You know, you develop scar tissue, you have to work it out. And then once you're back on the ice, it feels like you're injured again. It does not feel very good. And you can't perform to the same level. And it's hard to find some stability in your skates too, right? Like you don't feel the same. You don't feel as mobile. So he's probably dealing with that right now. I would imagine he's not going to miss much time or any time actually with this injury. I think they're just going to make sure that they didn't or he didn't actually re-injure it. But I think from everything that I've seen with high ankle sprains in the past, and again, I'm not a doctor, but from everything I've seen, that's exactly the case. So they're just making sure that he didn't actually re-injure it again. But if he is able to play and he's healthy, he will play. It's crucial that you continue to work it out, but you're just not the same player in season that you were. It's one of the most devastating injuries to come back from again in season. So we'll see how the rest of the way it goes here. But he is such a talented player that, again, has been plagued by injuries so far in his young NHL career, which is so unfortunate to see. But we'll see if he ends up getting into the game. I wouldn't count him out. I think it's a shocking update in terms of, the fact that he might actually miss some time. But I don't think he's going to. We'll see how it plays out. I don't think he's going to miss that much time, but it's been tough. He was going to be relied upon this season to be one of their most important point producers, and hasn't been able to do that due to injuries.
And I think the big thing is, too, is looking at Dylan Holloway going into a contract here. It's going to be interesting, not only on the sense of the St. Louis Blues, looking at this player and saying, hey, do we want to do a long-term deal that we did with Broberg? Or are we looking at a bridge deal, which could come back to bite you in the butt if this guy comes back in the remainder of the season and next year and the year after, absolutely killing it. But at the moment, looking at this team, Darius, this is a team that's dealt with, it feels like 4+ injuries every single week. We can see with Robert Thomas out, Sundqvist out, Suter out, and Dylan Holloway, it gets interesting when we're looking at this lineup, and when these players start to return, you're getting the full Olympic breaks. Most of these guys are at least off to get back into action, but looking at this team, it gets interesting when you're looking at the fact that you're still the second best odds to land that first overall pick. You're looking at getting as much draft capital for these veterans, but could you see with this Olympic break coming up, when you come back, if everyone's fully healthy, you got to make a move at that point to make the room for guys like Otto Stenberg and Dvorsky to continue to play.
Even if guys aren't healthy, you have to start making moves as soon as the Olympics are done. And we know Doug Armstrong's plan. He said it at the start of the year, or a couple months into the season at least. He said, I'm probably not going to make any trades before the Olympics, because after the Olympics, there's salary cap implications with a lot of the trades where a lot of the contracts are like 75% paid. So you're not paying as much for certain players. More teams, especially smaller market teams, are more willing to take on certain contracts because they don't have to pay as much. So we know the plan. It's going to come after the Olympics. They're waiting till after the Olympics, but they're fielding calls right now. I don't care who's healthy or who's not healthy. As soon as the Olympics are over and that trade freeze is done, because now we just learned yesterday too, there is a trade freeze over the course of the Olympic break. As soon as that is over, some trades are going to be coming down, some significant ones. I would expect Justin Falk to be traded first and foremost. I've changed my opinion. And then it's Braden Shen. I think you can just get so much more for Falk right now because of how many teams need a right shot defenseman and what a great season he's having. So I think it's Justin Falk. I think it's Braden Shen. They're definitely having conversations about Jordan Kyrou. Make no mistake about it at this point. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't think anything's going to happen until the end of the Olympic break. But then once that happens, there is like a 2-week window between that and the trade deadline. So things are going to happen in that window. So it's going to be exciting. But I think there's no doubt about it, Mark. You look at the odds for the first overall pick. You look at where they are in the standings, how they played this season. It's time to sell off some of the older guys, some of the bigger names, retool for the future. Hopefully you get the first overall pick, and maybe you get Stenberg's brother. It looks like he could go first overall now.
And I think the big thing is, even if you land that second round overall pick, you're looking at either Ivor Stenberg, who's dominating the SHL, or Gavin McKenna, who just scored a hat trick in his last game. So you're coming out with two of the top guys in this. But fans, let us know down below, what's your thoughts on this Blues season? Who would you take at number 1 or number 2 if the Blues do get that? Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments. And comment of the day today goes to Ace Rob. Thank you for the breakdown. We love doing this content for you guys. So we're so happy that the comments come through. Let us know your favorite moment this season down in the comments. But I've been your host, Mark, with my co-host, Darius, and take care, Blues.